Thanks, Josh. Ferocious, fiery ladies. That is awesome. Yeah. So, with that, guys, I'm going to go into some of the how to's a little bit more in addition to kind of what Josh was talking about. That was just one of the ways that you guys can prospect. So, give me a second here. I'm pulling it up. But that's unbelievable, guys. Like, when you think about it, a lot of people just get really nervous about talking to people, and you never know like who's open. Like, he was at a stoplight, guys. Like, you should have no excuse. We go to the store every day. We talk to people all the time. They ask us, do you need help in the store? Just conversation. Just be open to talking to people. So I'm going to go through this here. Hopefully you guys can see it. I'm obviously like super technical all the time. So we go through, I'm going to pull up a lot of scripts today for you guys, but when we look at prospecting, prospecting is the most important way to get your recruiting up, because prospecting is going to lead to everything else in our current system of recruiting that we have now. So if you look at prospecting, that's going to start the process. And then from there, then you'll get to the point of either calling those people, sending text messages, messages on social media, so on and so forth. But you have to initiate the process of reaching out to somebody new. And then that'll lead to the next step. And then from there, then you're going to get them on the webinar, whether it's the Shack's webinar, whether you have your own webinar, whether you're sending people the 20-minute video that we have, all of those scenarios, that's to get them the information. And then we got to do the follow-up process. And then from the follow-up process, you usually get to either close them and get started, or schedule an orientation for the second meeting. And then once you do that, you get the fast start meeting. In the fast start meeting, you get a list from your new recruit. Once you get that list, then you just repeat the process, because now that list is a form of prospecting, and then you just literally continue to repeat the cycle. So that's the recruiting flow. And unless you start prospecting, none of that's ever going to happen. So I'm going to talk about some of the different ways that you can prospect. So if you guys want to write these down, these are just a couple ways. There's like unlimited ways nowadays to prospect, but these are just a couple, and I'm going to go over specific scripts for each. But first off, you can start with your own market, your hot or warm market. So what is a hot market or warm market? Hot market is like the people you can just roll up to their house, walk in, go into their fridge right away. They're like, hey, what's up, man? And just chill on their couch. Like, that's your hot market. People that you can stop by anytime. They don't care. You don't have to call them and text them. You show up. The people that you're always texting or calling, or if you want to hang out, those are the people you hang out with. That's your hot market. That's your inner circle. So if you haven't talked to your hot market yet, I don't know what you're doing in this business. Like, you got to let people know what you're doing. You can't do Primerica as a secret. You gotta let the people that you know what you're doing. If you haven't talked to them yet, talk to them. Warm market is like unfreaking limited. Warm market is anybody that knows you by name, or you know them by name, which is like the thousands of people that we have on Facebook, social media, we went to school with, work, previously, all of those scenarios, right? So you got to reach out to those people. Then fast start meetings, that's another way to prospect. So when you hire a new person, you do a fast start meeting, and then through that, you help them build their list, and then you start working through that new recruit's warm market to help them get teammates. Then from there, there's social media, Facebook, Instagram. I'm not great with all of that. I have some messages I'm going to talk about, but I know Josh is unbelievable with Instagram. If you guys have an Instagram, follow some people in Primerica, because they post things all the time, and you can just copy some of the things that they post. So social media, LinkedIn, that's what I've been using the most recently. That's another way. It's very professional. People have what they've done for work. You can kind of limit your markets, or look into specific markets. And one of my, I guess, secrets is you want to target people that are kind of going through a tough time in their industry. COVID right now is hard on a lot of industries right now. So if you reach out to specifics, like For example, retail, the airline industry, any travel industries, hospitality. A lot of those industries right now are going through tough situations, and people unfortunately are getting laid off, and people are open, they're looking for other things. So if you target certain industries, that could be great. Obviously face-to-face, out and about, Josh went through that. And then Steam calls. So this is like, if you're just calling people that you may not know, you don't have a connection with, we call that the cold market, right? And that's like resumes. If you have old lists from people years ago, that you may have had, or previous recruits that are around, you're just calling them out of the blue to see if they're open to an opportunity. So those are some ways to prospect. So let's get to the technical side. So hot and warm market. This was a message that I think Samir sent to me, and I was like, wow, this is pretty cool. So let's say it's one of the people that you just send them this message. Hey, how are you? My company's growing like crazy right now because we can make money from anywhere in the world. If you can make an extra $500 to $1,000 a week part-time from the comfort of your home, would you want more information? How simple is that, guys? Text that to a couple people, see who responds. And then once you do that, get a commitment, and then go into scheduling them for Shaq's webinar or sending them the 20-minute video. I think this message actually came from Jeff Fieldstead, who is unfreaking believable in the business, and he sent this out to Samir. So this is a message that you can kind of send, but it doesn't have to be exactly like this. You can be creative and kind of switch it up too, but just sending something out to let people know about your business and the opportunity to make money. $500 to $1,000 a week, that's a big deal for most people. Next thing, fast start meetings. So I know, guys, all the scripts are here, and I know I'm going to be going through it a little fast. These PowerPoints will be up online, and the YouTube will be online too. So if you're not able to write it down, you can take screenshots or look back at it later. But the fast start meetings. So new recruits, warm market. How do we get into the new recruits, warm market is through the 3-way text messages. So that has literally been unbelievable for me. It's one of the easiest ways to help a new recruit get into their market, and you control the point of contact, because as the trainer, you can reach out to those people. So the message says, hey, Josh, I just started working with a company part-time. They're looking for money-motivated people that like helping others, who are keeping their options open. I thought of you. Expect a call from Shondel. This is her number. She's on this message. So they send that out with the other person on there, and then you call them. So if I called, I said, hey, can I please speak to Josh? Hey, Josh, my name's Shondel. How are you doing? I was just calling because we have a mutual friend with Jen Lee. Did you get the text from them? Yeah, definitely. Great. Well, Josh, he just started working with my company, and we're expanding right now. Actually, Jen started working with our company, and we're expanding right now. And she said, you're sharp, hardworking, ambitious, money motivated. I was just wondering if you had a couple minutes to talk about a career opportunity, right? And then we have a continuous script from there that you guys can follow, and we have that online. So it's very straightforward. So that's working through your new recruits warm market. Then there's Facebook. Facebook, this is something where you can send out these messages, like I think 50 at a time on Facebook. Very similar message. Hi, I run a financial firm in the Northern Virginia area, DC metro area, Missouri, Texas, wherever you're at. And I'm currently networking and looking for some key people for full-time or part-time roles. You scrolled across my people you might know tab. I don't know if you keep your options open or anyone else that might be, but if you do, please let me know. My best contact number and email to reach them so I can put more information in your hands. Thanks. My name. Once you get the number and the email, schedule them. Schedule them for same thing, webinar or Shaq's webinar or the video. So that's Facebook, guys. You can send out 50 messages, I think, at a time within a certain time period before they like kind of block you. And then you can wait a couple hours, and then you can send out more. So if people have limited time, this is a great way to send out messages. LinkedIn, this is my go-to, honestly. Right now, I'm being very transparent with you guys. I haven't been making a lot of calls. Like I used to do a lot of resume calls, but now I've just been using LinkedIn because I feel like it's more targeted. So here's the message. Hi, Josh. Thanks for accepting my request. On LinkedIn, you have to connect with somebody first before you can send them a message. So I usually go through and I kind of like filter through people with management, leadership, things that I'm looking for, send out connections. And you can connect, they limit you as well. So I just connect until it says, sorry, you can't connect anymore. And then throughout the day, it's like 15 people accepted your request, 20 people accepted your request. Once I get those accepts, then I send out this message. So, hey Josh, thanks for accepting my request. I was reaching out to you regarding an opportunity with our financial firm in the fintech industry, which is financial services through technology. We're hiring nationally and offering work from home roles, part-time or full-time. Due to COVID-19, there's been many changes across many industries, and this could help being that it's work from home in a recession-proof industry. So I'd like to meet with you since you have some of the experience that we look for. We have a corporate webinar that's required as a prerequisite with our hiring manager or broker with more information on either Tuesday at 2 or Wednesday at 7. So you give them some options, then they usually will reply back if they're interested with like a name, number, and the time that they want to meet, and then I schedule them. So that's through LinkedIn. That's been working great for me, Morgan on my team, Joali, Tiffany, a bunch of people have been using this. If they haven't, maybe they've gone through their warm market, so on and so forth. But it's a simple way as well where you can just do this, take 10, 15 minutes of your day to send out some messages. Out and about, so very similar to what Josh was saying. Hey, Jen, I was just wondering if you can help me out. Well, I don't know Jen's name, but hey, I was wondering if you can help me out real quick. My husband and I, or if you're not married, or have a husband in the business. Hey, I help run a financial services firm in the area, and we're currently expanding, looking for people. Do you know anybody that might be looking for part-time or full-time work? Usually they'll say, oh yeah, maybe, possibly. Okay, great. Find out about that person if they know somebody. If they say, oh no, I don't know anybody, well, what about you? And
yep, just started recording.
Okay, cool. All right, guys. So yeah, so with that, you just find out a little bit about what they do and then see if they're open, just like Josh said. So that's face-to-face, out and about. And then the last thing is the SEAM call for warm markets. This is my last slide, guys. So let's say I call like a resume, or I'm just calling a number that somebody gave me, or like a list that I got a couple years ago from old recruit. Maybe they're not around anymore. You just call. Hi, can I please speak to Jen? Hey, Jen, my name's Shondel. How are you doing today? Great. Well, I was just calling because your contact information was passed to me as someone that may have some of the qualities that we're looking for right now. Is now a good time for us to talk for a few moments about a career opportunity? Very straightforward. And then we have the remaining script that you guys can kind of run online. But when you look at it, guys, there's so many different ways that you can introduce people to your business. You just got to figure out which one appeals to you the most, right? And then kind of go from there and then get people on the webinar, which is what Jen's going to be talking about next. So if you guys have any questions about that stuff, post it in the chat. We're going to answer questions hopefully at the end. But yeah, let's give it up to Jen. She's going, I think she might, if you want to, might interview somebody, but then she'll get into some of the technicals of inviting people to the webinar.